Now we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty of what Indians are all about.
I still say we Indian people are believers in the truth. This is the way of life that was given to your people. You're born an Indian, you're going to die an Indian. Indianness is a good life. You're facing an Indian this afternoon.
Awas gede ada, lagi lo mari, hebel tango hero melo, endage, ine kano zapano ko melo mego, awas gede, awas gede da, omane balkale.
It is centuries old, celebrated by the Indian tribes of the Southeast, the Creeks, Seminoles, Cherokees, Choctaws, and Chickasaws. It is the Green Corn Festival. Each summer, in the season of the new corn, these Indian peoples gather at their tribal towns to perform this rite of purification and rejuvenation. It is both a Thanksgiving ceremony and a New Year celebration, thanking Mother Earth for her sustenance during the past year and ensuring that a proper relationship with the Creator is maintained. But this is no ancient, extinct ritual. It is a living, organic part of Indian life today. It is religion, culture, tradition. What you are about to see and hear is the surviving form of the Green Corn Festival as it is practiced by Creek Indians at a dozen or so ceremonial grounds in Oklahoma today. The ceremony takes place in and around the ceremonial square, with the men of the tribal town seated around the edge. The whole affair is directed by the tribal town chief, who also prepared the herbal medicine for the occasion. Everything in the festival is done in sets of 4, in honor of the 4 winds or 4 directions. Certain powers come from each of the directions, so each must be honored. There are 4 brush arbors in the square and 4 parts to each of the dances. After a week of camping at the grounds, mowing, cleaning, and making other preparations, the festival begins near sunset on Friday. First, the women and girls of the tribal town are honored in the ribbon dance. The ladies prepare special dresses for the occasion with bright colors and long ribbons. Turtle shells or tin cans filled with pebbles are tied to their legs. They circle the ashes of last year's sacred fire, following the directions given by the chief. When the ribbon dance is over, all the people in the camp are called to dance the friendship dance. All visitors are welcome to participate. This stomp dance continues most of the night, with lead singers from different ceremonial grounds taking turns in leading the dances, with songs honoring the animals and other creatures of nature. At sunrise on Saturday, the men begin the day's activities with preparations for the next stages of the festival. A new fire is started in the center of the square, with 4 logs pointing in the 4 directions. The women may not enter the square until the men's ceremony is finished in late afternoon. About mid-morning, One of the chief's assistants begins preparing herbal medicine in a tub at the edge of the square. The chief makes medicine by blowing through a hollow bamboo shoot and chanting lowly to himself. This batch is for the women who want to take or touch the purifying and relaxing mixture.
Diba na uzaktat malak kada hinong gay mi haka ka ni maho grase. Oh, Mvskoke.
No say ho, don't want it.
That's what I said, don't want it ho. Kumbidahara tiliswa imidida kinido hanino mari. Talo vare sabiyan tanade. Iyokit kyo de dona watan husto mo zakalat. Dikha ringit tayo dole maho jibokit kyo zakarosta.
Sa hani ya dio.
Em người muốn gì cũng go wow.
Go wow ding. We tell that.
Mai cái basta
Hả?
nó mặc rồi đi, chúng ta bây giờ phối đun đừng nghe. Mai cái basta.
Cái đó của mình sắc. Se Manoli mikä hän edeskä. Vattelee kun anata sunga hän edes. Fresh, but it's well.
Then they are scratched so that the medicine gets into their muscles and its power can take effect.
Vale. Adiós, que diz a pena aqui. Adiós, que diz a pena aqui. Mama, que isso é de ver de anda. Okay. I won't cry.
Later, the boys and men also touch medicine and get scratched.
All right. Scratch deeper than him. Right, sir. You scratch deeper? Yeah, I know it. Stay right in there, boy. Hey, you heard them. What's up? I'm a man. Who wants that big one? This is the one I'm going to get a hold of. Boy, this thing is just giving me hell on.
Fight magre ra bà sốt lên. Fight magre. Hả? Hả? No more lighting cigarette over here, lighter now. No light cigarette. Y'all gotta go over and light your cigarette. Don't buy a cigarette no more. Y'all take some cigarettes over here to Harvard.
Then the men prepare for the feather dance. The feather dance, made up of 4 songs, sung 4 times for each of the 4 winds, ends the main part of the ceremony.
I just want a picture. Take it. It's almost like a lemon. Rock it on, I rocked it. Oh, beautiful. Oh, beautiful.
The next order of business is food and rest for those who have not eaten or slept since Friday. Another all-night stomp dance begins about sunset. Again, everyone is welcome to participate. Thus, another year begins for traditional Indian people in eastern Oklahoma. People trying to live in 2 worlds, working in a modern white man's world while maintaining ancient traditions, so important to the identity of being
Alexander Lawrence Posey, known as Alex to his friends and readers, was one of the most renowned figures to ever emerge from the ranks of the Mvskoke Creek Nation. This gentle, good-natured man was educator, journalist, philosopher, humorist, statesman, and active participant in the affairs of his time. Born in the Creek Nation near Eufaula in 1873, Alex Posey lived in an era which witnessed the death of Indian nations and the birth of the state of Oklahoma. His father was of Scotch, Irish, and Creek descent, and his mother was full-blood Creek. The Mvskoke tongue was Alex's first language, though his father made sure that English was later mastered in school. In 1890, when Alex was 17, he entered Bacone College, then known as Indian University, near Mvskoke. It was there that his literary and journalistic talents began to flower. After graduation in 1895, Posey began his short but illustrious career. He was elected to the House of Warriors, a branch of the Creek legislature, and then was named superintendent of the Creek Orphanage at Okmulgee. There he met and married Minnie Harris of Fayetteville, Arkansas, one of the teachers. In 1897, Alex and his wife moved to a farm near Stidham, not far from his birthplace. Here he roamed the Talladega, a range of hills that bordered the Oktahutchee, the Sandy River, studied nature, and wrote poetry. That same year, he was called to serve as the superintendent of the Creek Nation High School in Eufaula. His poetry and prose began appearing regularly in the Indian Journal, Eufaula's newspaper, and in 1900 he became editor of that paper. As editor, Alex began writing the humorous and satirical column known as the Mvskoke letters. These imaginative letters focused attention on the fraud and injustice being done to the Indians in the territory and were reprinted in newspapers all across the United States. In 1904, Posey went to work for the Dawes Commission, headquartered in Mvskoke, to assist in its efforts to finish the allotment process among the Creeks. Posey spent 3 years as a field worker and interpreter, locating lost and reluctant Creek Indians and helping to ensure that they got their fair share of allotted lands, the only remnant of a once powerful Indian nation. By 1907, Posey's work with the Dawes Commission was finished. Tribal lands had been dissolved, the new state had formed, and a sad sense of change hung in the air for Oklahoma's Indians. Alex had decided to return to Eufaula and take up ownership of the Indian Journal. But this was not to be. In May 1908, Alex Posey drowned while attempting to cross the rain-swollen waters of the North Canadian River in a boat. The boat capsized, throwing him into the swirling waters. Posey could only grasp at branches that hung out over the water's edge while rescue workers tried to save him. Eventually, the waters swept him away, and he was lost. But he left a legacy of imaginative words describing the natural world around him and his feelings about that world. Listen now to his poetry, his words, and see images of the land that inspired them. In Talladega, where mountains lift their heads to clouds that nestle low, where constant beauty spreads sublimer scenes below, where gray and massive rocks o'erhang rough heights sublime, where awful grandeur mocks the brush and poet rhyme. We saw the evening blush above the rugged range. We heard the river rush far off and faint and strange. Brook Song. If you'll but pause and listen, listen long. There are far-off voices in a wee brook's song that come as voices, come from out the years, and you will dream you hear the voice once hers, perhaps, and when dawn, blinded by your tears. To a robin, out in the golden air, out where the skies are fair, I hear a song of gladness with never note of sadness. Sing out thy heart's delight, and mine of every sorrow. Sing, sweet bird, till the night, and come again tomorrow. Flowers. When flowers fade, Why does their fragrance linger still? Have they a spirit too that death can never kill? Is it their judgment day, when from the dark, dark mold of April and of May their blooms again unfold? The deer. From out the folded hills that lie beneath a thin blue veil, there comes a deer to drink from limbo's waters in the dale. Then flies he back into the hills, and sitting there I dream and watch, as vain as he, my image lying in the stream. My hermitage. Between me and the noise of strife are walls of mountains set with pine. The dusty, care-strewn paths of life lead not to this retreat of mine. I hear the morning wind awake beyond the purple height, and in the growing light the lap of lilies on the lake. I live with echo and with song, and beauty leads me forth to see her temple's colonnades, and long together do we love to be. The mountains wall me in, complete, and leave me but a bit of blue above. All year the days are sweet, how sweet, and all the long nights through. I hear the river flowing by along its sandy bars. Behold, far in the midnight sky, an infinity of stars. 'Tis sweet, when all is still, when darkness gathers round, to hear from hill to hill the far, the wondering sound. The cedar and the pine have pitched their tents with me. What freedom vast is mine, what room, what mystery. Upon the dreamy southern breeze that steals in like a laden bee and sighs for rest among the trees are far-blown bits of melody. Autumn. In the dreamy silence of the afternoon, a cloth of gold is woven over wood and prairie, and the jaybird, newly fallen from the heaven, scatters cordial greetings, and the air is filled with scarlet leaves that, dropping, rise again, as ever, with a useless sigh for rest, and it is autumn. Sunset. By coward clouds forgot, by yonder's sunset flow, the day, in battle shot, lies bleeding, weak and low. My fancy. Why do trees along the river lean so far out o'er the tide? Very wise men tell me why, but I am never satisfied. And so I keep my fancy still, that trees lean out to save the drowning from the clutches of the cold, remorseless wave.